The municipal elections on April the 14th, 1931, showed an overwhelming Republican majority. Alfonso XIII, King of Spain, suspended the exercise of royal power and went into exile. El Pardo, the nearest qualified royal site to Madrid, suffered 10 different policy changes reflected on its social development. The Second Republic and the Spanish Civil War, having two highly processed items, but nevertheless, El Pardo itself, and in comparison with other affected areas, doesn't seem to concern, despite of being the essential core of the main political leaders, from Manuel de la Azaña in the Second Republic time, before the Civil War, to Francisco Franco in the 40s. This study aims to examine how the political forces shaped and transformed this royal site from a social point of view. It is also about social projects frustrated because of the precarious economic situation and how the procedure ways changed. Meanwhile, El Pardo, as an independent town, till the 50s as an integral part of the state capital. Since the death of Alfonso XII in 1885, at which time his widow, the Queen Regent Maria Cristina, signed El Pardo Pact, the number of works done to both the royal palace and the residential core of this royal site were reduced to mere one-off reforms until it became the official residence of the head of state. It was during these years of regency that the royal site moved on to another level of interest, and the royalty centered on the national political movements between conservatives and liberals didn't pay attention to the developments that this popular site had and continues to require. King Alfonso XIII was a promoter of new public infrastructure such as hydraulic and sewage facilities, as well as the post and telegraph offices that would later be located at the royal site. This could be favored by the commercial and residential developments of a population that was now not only related to the royal palace servants but also to military defense institutions as the transmission barrack. A field for agricultural crop experimentation and development, owing to the exclusive initiative of Alfonso XIII, and lastly, in addition to several famous almshouses, the best promenade to the suburbs outside Madrid, for cars, bicycles, and motorbikes that constantly travel this well-tended road from the capital of the monarchy to the royal site. Finally, the steam railway tram was eliminated due to being reused for the company that was operating it. Communications with Madrid were difficult and replete with inconveniences due to having to use stagecoaches. The journey took 1 hour from Puerta de Hierro, where it then stopped to connect with the tram that traveled to El Pardo. One of the most remarkable new scientific institutions that was developed at the beginning of the 20th century was El Pardo Hydrodynamics Experiences Channel, which was created in 1928. This public center is allocated for his high-level investigation, technological development, and technical assistance. Administratively formed as an autonomous state body that reports to the Ministry of Defense through the Directorate General of Armaments and Materials. The proximity of military quartering operations, particularly the Zarco del Valle Signal Corps, made Segismundo Casado chief of the presidential's bodyguards fear for Azaña's safety. He organized his quick transfer to the National Palace in Madrid, today the Royal Palace, protected and flanked by several police cars. The official municipal architect at the time, Mr. Francisco Alonso y Martos, was commissioned an El Pardo urban planning and beautification project to the mayor at that time, Salustiano García Bellot, which was approved in the session of 19th January 1933. In this project, Alonso upheld ideals that were the foundations of this project, stating the importance of maintaining the essential character, which he termed as evocative of this town, exalting the natural setting of this enclave. Alonso was also critical of modern architecture and specifically the barracks constructed during the dictatorship, which he assessed as anodyne and deplorable location that completely ruins the entry landscaping. Starting in 1939, important transformations took place at El Pardo, when the palace was assigned to be the official residency of the head of state. As a consequence, the old royal hub underwent renovations at the initiative of the Spanish National Heritage. In 1941, Mendez wrote El Pardo New Town, which was published in 1947 in the National Architectural Review. His work shows the urgency of regenerating infrastructures had good over the town improvements focused on the use of housing under the concepts defended by Pedro Muguruza. Between the 40s and the 50s, Diego Mendez's work defined a high percentage of the current physiognomy in El Pardo village. We can find numerous interventions in the royal site referred to reformation and punctual conditioning, as well as urban infrastructures and new works. The political forces shaped and transformed this royal site from a social point of view. From the years of the monarchy, during which the Bourbons used the royal residency as a resting place during hunting season, it is during this state that we find the original features and appearance of the town of El Pardo. Recovering its essence, its ambience, and its uses is the basis for understanding what this town was like in the past and how it is today. The royal site of El Pardo has been the aim of influential changes in its society over the course of 7 centuries. Reinstating this image and returning to that time is part of the objective of this doctoral thesis PhD of this author entitled Residential Architecture in the Town of El Pardo, 1885-1965, of which this study is one of the points that this dealt with.